Good day, mate. Welcome back to the channel. I'm FPL Root and welcome back to another FPL video. So in today's video, we've been going through my team selection ahead of double game week 35. So the wildcard is active. This is going to be my wildcard team as well. And then I'll go through what my team will look like lining up for game week 35. If you are new to the channel, please make sure you do subscribe and let's get straight into it.
Yo, listen up, Rue is stepping up the game. Where fantasy Premier League runs in his veins. From transfers to captains, he's always on top. Guiding you through every game week non-stop. They say Rue got that Salah flow. Welcome to the channel, enjoy the show. Wild cards, free hits with so much vibe. If you're hunting for success, then make sure you subscribe.
So first of all, let's start off with the goalkeepers. So I have gone for David Raya and Petrovic, the Chelsea goalkeeper. We'll talk about Petrovic first because he obviously has a lot of people picking him on their wildcard, etc. So he's got 2 double game weeks for the rest of the season, which is probably the only reason I'm going for him. It's not because Chelsea are amazing defensively or anything like that. But in game week 35, he doubles against Villa away, Spurs at home. To be honest, I can't really see a clean sheet in that game, in them 2 games, but you never know with these sort of things. Villa have got Europe as well coming up, so who knows? Chelsea may be able to pick up as a result. And then Spurs, I can't really see them keeping out Spurs. But yeah, for me, I think it's worth it just for, I guess, the upside of playing a double game week goalkeeper. David Raya is also in the team. But first of all, Petrovic also has Forest away and Brighton away in game week 37, Bournemouth at home in 38. He's also got West Ham at home in 36. So 2 double game weeks. And that's the only reason, to be honest. I don't see him keeping many clean sheets, but I think if he does, it could be a big score because obviously he does have, I guess, 2 extra fixtures when there's only about 3-4 fixtures left. David Raya, I've gone for. It was difficult. I was thinking about Onana, thinking about maybe Vicario, maybe Ederson. But I did go for David Raya because I really do want that Arsenal defensive cover. So they got Spurs away in this game week 35, but then they got Bournemouth at home in 36, Man United away in 37, and Everton at home in 38. So 2 good home games with Bournemouth and Everton at home, and then you could say 2 tough away games where you probably don't see them keeping a clean sheet. But who knows with Arsenal because they've actually been very, very good defensively this season. David Raya, I got him for a little bit cheaper, 5 million, but he's now 5.2 million. And Petrovic is 4.6 million. So, yeah, I'll probably be playing Petrovic in the 2 double game weeks and then David Raya in the 2 single game weeks, but we'll get onto that in the team selection. Let's look at the defenders. So defensively, a lot of if you are on your wildcard, you know how tough it is to pick defenders for this wildcard draft. And it kind of still depends on injuries and injury news. But for now, I've gone for Kyle Walker. So I do have the exact money for this whole draft. And a lot of people might be able to afford other players more expensive and then maybe get Gvardiol. But for me, I can't even afford that. So that's the reason I've gone for Kyle Walker. I think he's more attacking than Gvardiol. This season, he's got 5 assists. I think he's nailed as well. Yes, he's just come back from injury, but he did play in Europe and he played 78 minutes and got 2 assists against Brighton. And it was a really, really good performance from him. And he could, I think, get back to his days of getting a few assists, getting a few goals from that right back spot. So that's why I've gone for Kyle Walker, because I do think he will start and I do think he's more attacking than someone like Gvardiol. And then, 5.3 million he is. So yeah, he is a bit more expensive, 0.4 million more expensive than Gvardiol, but I think it is worth it. Next up, Van Heck. So basically only for the double game week. In terms of Van Heck, his fixtures are not best, and Brighton are conceding a lot of goals. So 4.1 million he is. He's got Brighton away, then Villa at home. Then he's also got Newcastle away in the double game week with Chelsea at home. Then he's got Man United at home last game in the season. So not ideal and not the best double game week, but I think for someone that can sit on your bench and has a double, I think he's a good option. Harry Maguire as well up next, 4.2 million. I did want Dalot, to be honest. I do think Dalot is more attacking, but Harry Maguire does get a lot of assists and a lot of goals. He's actually got 4 assists and 2 attacking returns this season. So a pretty good return considering he didn't really play a lot of the season. He's only started 17 times. But yeah, I do think Maguire Yes, I do think Dalot's better, but I think Maguire is not as, I guess, a bigger gap as the price suggests. So Dalot's around 5.3, 5.2 million, and Maguire's 4.2 million. So I think he's a player that you can put on your bench and then just play him in a double game week. So the player I was talking about that I basically couldn't afford Dalot, so that's why I went for Walker, because I had that spare money. But Fabian Schär, I think I've actually decided to spend the extra on him. It is 5.7 million, so a lot of money considering Newcastle defensively are not great, but he is very attacking, and I think these are the sort of players you've got to be going for on your wild card. So 4 goals, 3 assists this season. Newcastle's fixtures look very, very nice. In the next two, they've got Sheffield United at home, Burnley away. Then they've got a double game week of Brighton at home, Man United away before ending the season on Brentford away. So again, not the best double game week, but for me, I think pretty good considering the 2 fixtures before that are Sheffield United and Burnley. Pedro Porro is a difficult one and kind of holds the key to the rest of the team, to be totally honest with you. So he is flagged 75% knock. He's back in training though. I think he will play in this game. It's just I'm a bit worried whether he might be I guess rested in the Chelsea game because obviously he would have just come back from a knock or an injury. But if he is back, he is training, he is looking fit. I can see him starting both games too. But in terms of fixtures for Spurs, double game week, they're just like Chelsea. They've got 2 double game weeks. So Arsenal home, Chelsea away, which is bloody rough. Don't get me wrong, that is rough. And then it's followed by Liverpool away, which is even worse kind of thing. I know Liverpool are not playing great at the moment, but it's still Anfield and it's still Spurs don't really do well at Anfield. But then they've got a double game week of 2 home games, Burnley at home and Man City at home. And then they finish the season with Sheffield United away. So they've got Burnley, Sheffield United in the last few game weeks, the last 4 game weeks. But they've also got Arsenal, Liverpool, Chelsea, and Man City. So it is hard to, I guess, want to put in a Spurs defender. And a lot of people are going for Vicario, but I am finding it a little bit hard to go for him because I can't see any clean sheets. Maybe in the Burnley game, maybe in the Sheffield United game, but against Arsenal, Chelsea, Liverpool, and Man City, I really can't see it. But obviously with Pedro Porro, you do have that attacking threat, 8 assists, 1 goal this season. And if he is fit, he will be in the team. If he's not fit, it kind of changes everything because I'll probably have to go, not have to, but I'll probably go for Vicario just to have that defensive cover from Spurs instead of Petrovic, and then maybe go for Gusto if Gusto is fit. Or I could just go to someone like Van der Ven and then upgrade Maguire to Dalot and then, make my defense a bit stronger overall. But to be honest, I'm not happy at all with this defense, but I can't really see better options out there. If you can, let me know in the comment section below and we'll get onto the midfield where things are pretty locked. So the midfield is probably the most locked part of my team. We'll start off with Phil Foden, 8.2 million he is now. And like I said, Man City's fixtures are very good until the end of the season. And Phil Foden is on absolute fire at the minute. Another 2 goals in game week 34. So far this season, 16 goals, 7 assists, which is very, very good. 23 returns in 29 games. Forest away in 35. Wolves at home in 36. Fulham away in 37. And the double game week is with Spurs away. So 2 tough away games, but if City are going to win the league, you're going to be expecting to win them games. And I can see them scoring in both them games anyway. And then West Ham away last game of the season. Foden is an absolute lock for me. And to be honest, this whole midfield is, but Foden especially is a lock for me, considering his goal scoring form, considering Haaland is a doubt as well. And I think he's a must-have in a wildcard draft. Cole Palmer, another player that is flagged. So it's not often you wildcard and have players flagged, never mind multiple players flagged. But he is in the team. He is only missed the Arsenal game because of an illness. I think he will be back for this double game week against Villa and against Spurs. Then they also got, like I said, West Ham at home in 36, and then another double game week of Forest away, Brighton away, and then Bournemouth at home. So the fixtures are very, very nice for Chelsea. It's just a shame there aren't many other attacking players to go for them. If there was, maybe Sterling was firing to Modric, maybe even Madueke, Gallagher. It would have been nice, but for me, Cole Palmer does enough by himself, and he's on fire as well this season. Obviously, top scorer, joint with Haaland, 20 goals. He's also got 10 assists, and he's only started 23 games. So he is a no-brainer, and he is a potential captaincy option for this game week. Bruno Fernandes up next. So a player that I guess a lot of people not wildcarding might not own. So I think that's a massive differential and a massive chance to gain on people that are not wildcarding. He is 8.4 million though, so he is quite expensive. But I think with this wildcard draft, I'm basically not including Salah or Saka or any Liverpool or Arsenal assets. So I'm really going all in on these double game weeks. I'm obviously got Raya, but I mean like midfield assets. So no Salah, no Saka, no Havertz, no Odegaard. So it does allow for Bruno Fernandes in the team, and his ownership is only 14%. And I'm sure a lot of that would have been from the start of the season and players that might not be playing anymore. But Man United's fixtures, like I said, Burnley at home, great fixture for him. And he's been on fire recently, but we'll go into that a bit later. Then Crystal Palace away, which could be a tough game, but I think Palace still do concede goals. And then a double game week, 2 home games, Arsenal at home, Newcastle at home, and then to end of the season, Brighton away. So, like I said, Fernandes recently has been on fire. In the last 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 game weeks, he's got 7 goals. So ridiculous. Smashed it. He's also got an assist in that, and so far this season he's got 10 goals, 8 assists. Considering he's had a poor season, yeah, he's on fire at the minute. He's obviously on penalties as well, and got the fixtures in the double game week. For me, he's a lock as well. And next up, Anthony Gordon. So I've seen him not be put in a lot of wild cards. I'm not too sure why. I understand that people, obviously, everyone knows that he is much better at home. He scored 10 goals, 13 assists this season, but he's only returning 2 away games. So obviously, most of his goals come at home. But with Sheffield United at home next, again, it's a home game. Then Burnley away. If you're going to hope Gordon returns in the away game, it's going to be Burnley or Sheffield United away. Then a double game with Brighton at home, who have just conceded 4. Man United away, who obviously conceded a lot of goals as well. And then Brighton away. So I guess it's 3 home games out of 5 games. And obviously that can be a bit worrying for a player that doesn't really do it away from home. But for me, the home games of Burnley, Man United and Brentford, they all concede goals. I think it's worth taking the risk on a 6.2 million Anthony Gordon. Next up is Heung-min Son. So 9.8 million he is now. And his ownership is pretty high, 26.7%. And to be honest, he hasn't been looking great recently. I know they didn't have a fixture in game week 34, Spurs. But even before that, he got taken off in the 57th minute against Newcastle. He only got an assist against Forest in game week 32, where Spurs scored 3 goals. He blanked against West Ham in game week 31. And then he got a goal against Luton and blanked against Fulham in 29. So not the best recently. He's only got 1 goal in his last 5 game weeks, which is disappointing. But I think Son and the fact that Spurs don't really have many guaranteed starters, midfielders or forwards, I think Son has to be in your wildcard team. So like I said, Arsenal, Chelsea, then Liverpool away, then a double game week of City and Burnley at home, and then Sheffield United away. I think the fact that the double game weeks are the tough games, Son normally does better in the tough games against the teams that are going to likely press, going to likely have a bit of a higher line. And then the other games are against teams that are really, really bad. So hopefully he does deliver. And yeah, I think this midfield is locked. I don't see it changing at all. And for me, it's just I guess the forwards and the defense. But let's get on to the forwards. So for the forwards, we'll start with the absolute lock. So Alexander Isak is in the team. Obviously, I'm wildcarding a bit later. I actually was on my free hit as well. So I decided to free hit in 34 and wildcard 35 just to try and get the best of both strategies. But that did mean going Arsenal and Liverpool assets over Newcastle assets. And obviously Isak has been smashing it recently. He's nearly 30% owned. He's at 8.1 million. And yeah, like I said, he's been smashing it recently. He did blank against Crystal Palace in game week 34. But before that, he got 2 against Spurs. In 31, he got a goal. In 30, he got 2 goals and assist against West Ham. Goal in 28. And a goal in 27. So far this season, 17 goals, 1 assist, which is 18 returns in 22 starts. Very, very good. Obviously, Callum Wilson is back, so potentially he could take up minutes from Isak, but I don't see that being much more than 20 minutes off the bench, 10 minutes off the bench, 15 minutes off the bench. You could argue that he might play one of the games in a double game week, but even if he does, Isak will come off the bench, I feel like. And you don't know, being so long out injured, Callum Wilson with the injury record he's got, Powell might not want to, I guess, put him under that stress when there's really no need. When you've got Alexander Isak there, you've got Gordon on the wings flying. Yeah, for me, I'm not sure he's going to want to take the risk. But yeah, Isak is in the team, whether Wilson is back or not. Nicholas Jackson is in the team as well, pretty much a lock. Because like I said, Chelsea's fixtures are very, very good. Double West Ham at home, double Bournemouth at home. And like I said, if there was another Chelsea option to go for, I would go for him over Jackson, but there isn't. So it's going to be Jackson. 10 goals, 5 assists this season, 25 starts. But in terms of his expected goal involvement is 0.66 and 0.55 for his expected goals, which is obviously higher than his return. So he should be on about 13 goals, 14 goals instead of 10. So he obviously does get chances. He does miss a lot of chances. He does remind me a lot of Darwin Núñez. But like I said, with the fixtures, all you need is for some of them ones to go in, 2 or 3 to go in, and then you've got an absolute mega score. And he is actually a massive differential too. I'm not too sure by the deadline he will be, but he is now 6.6% owned. He's also missed out. So he was on 9 yellow cards. So if he got another yellow card, he would have missed 2 games. But Chelsea have now played 32 games. So it means he won't miss out if he does get yellow cards. So for me, it's a no-brainer and to go for Nicholas Jackson. So I'd say them 7 players, Jackson, Isak, and the midfield are absolute locks for this wild card. Next up, Erling Haaland. So muscle injury, FPL has him as 50% chance of playing. 14.1 million now as well. So he's dropped in price and under 65% owned. For me, it is a tough one on the wild card because obviously if he is out for a couple game weeks or even the rest of the season, I'm not going to have him in. But if he's only out for game week 35, then I'm going to count him in my team and bench him because the rest of my players have some very, very nice options. We'll go through the team selection after anyway, but yeah, I have options this week. But like I said, City have got good fixtures, Forest away, Wolves at home, double game week of Fulham and Spurs, and then West Ham at home. Haaland still top goal scorer. I know he's had a bad season considering his levels, but 20 goals, 8 assists in 25 starts. Yeah, for me, if he's out for longer than, I guess, 2 game weeks, then I will take him out. If not, then he'll probably be in my team and sit on the bench. But let's get into the full team selection. So the team for double game week 35 really does pick itself from the wild card. So Petrovic gets the nod over David Raya. Raya obviously has Spurs away, and I do think Spurs will score in that game. And then Petrovic has Villa away and Spurs at home. I don't really see a clean sheet in either of them games, but you just never know with these sort of things. And I think it's worth it for a double game week goalkeeper to go for that. Pedro Porro, Arsenal at home, Chelsea away. Yeah, if he's fit, he's definitely in the team. He's attacking threat, potential clean sheet in the Chelsea game, but I can't really see it. And I think, yeah, it's mainly for his attacking defense. So if he can get an assist in one of the games and then two appearance points, yeah, I can't really argue with that. Fabian Schär's in the team, so Sheffield United at home, very nice fixture for him. Probably a good chance of a clean sheet, and obviously he's a massive goal threat. So yeah, he's definitely starting. This one was tough. So I've got Maguire with Burnley at home and then Walker with Forest away. If that was Dalot, I probably would have started Dalot over Walker. But I do think Walker is slightly more attacking than someone like Harry Maguire. And I do trust Man City's defence more than Man United's at the minute. So Walker gets a nod with Forest away and Maguire and Van Heck on the bench with Burnley at home and Bournemouth away. Midfield picks itself again. Sheffield United at home for Gordon. Palmer with a double game week. If he obviously is fit, I think he will be. It's only illness. He's been pictured back in training, so I think he plays with Villa away and Spurs at home. Son, Arsenal at home, Chelsea away. Foden gets the nod over Haaland, which is really the toss-up in this sort of team selection. So Foden, Forest away, and then Bruno Fernandes with Burnley at home. And then up front, Isak with Sheffield United at home and Jackson with Villa away and Spurs at home. So Haaland is on the bench. I think because of the fact that he missed out midweek, I think it will be too soon for him to just come back into the starting lineup, considering they scored 4 goals and they won. So that's why I put Haaland on the bench. If there's I guess, any sort of rumor that he might start, then he'll be in a team, and I'll probably have to drop Foden or Bruno Fernandes. I don't like that, but yeah, I'll probably not even do that, to be totally honest with you, because even if Haaland does start, then he'll probably come off early because he's just been injured. So I think if Haaland is out completely, then that changes the whole conversation of the wild card. I'll probably go for someone like Ollie Watkins potentially, or even someone like Rasmus Højlund. But for now, Haaland is in the team because, yeah, if he is back by game week 36, I know I'm going to want him for that double game week. That was it for this video. Let me know what you think in the comment section below, and good luck for the game week. Smash a like too. Cheers.